my friends. It is July 10th, 2023, Monday evening, around 9:30 p.m. It has been raining all day long. Well, no, it hasn't been raining all day long. It's been threatening to rain all day long, but in the afternoon it really came down hard for quite a while. We've gotten a lot of rain this year, which I'm thankful for, because for a while there, they've been saying that Polk County was facing a shortage of water, which I don't ever get really upset about things like that when I hear stuff like that in the news. I know that God always finds a way to provide, and sometimes it may not appear like it's happening soon enough, but I always figure things come through. You know, things happen, and it's Florida. We get lots of rain, lots of rain. But anyway, it is 76 degrees, 97% humidity. So it's pretty muggy, but it's nice. The air is very still, and I like getting a nice little breeze back here, but I'm not getting much tonight. But I'm glad it's been raining like it has been. I was hoping it would do it while I was making this video. So tonight I'm going to do another one of these back porch conversations. These are just casual conversation topics I've kind of thrown together really quickly. I purposely, when I do these kinds of videos, I purposely don't try to spend a lot of time looking for something, because I want these to come off as not rehearsed, which these are not. I might have spent just a little bit of time going, what would be good things to talk about? But I've not given a lot of contemplation to what I'm going to cover. So it's going to allow me to just kind of roll off how I think, and it'll allow you guys a chance to maybe feel like you're a part of the conversation. So feel free to leave your comments, your remarks, and feel free also to hit the like button. There's a lot of you guys that are not subscribed that you might be watching this. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And while you're down there, there's a notification button that if you don't tap on that, you won't know when I do any future uploads, unless you just happen to see them, or if the YouTube gods happen to be generous enough to suggest my video to you. So hit the notification bell so you can see other videos come up that I'm uploading. Also, there's a thanks button there. If you want to show a tangible way, show a thank you in a tangible way, you can do that. If you want to donate to this channel to help out, I'll have a PayPal link down below in the description. That's another way of doing it too. So I would appreciate your generosity, and I'll try to remember to make sure that anybody who donates or contributes to this channel gets honorable mention in my videos. I think one time I forgot to, and I felt bad about that, but I would love to do that. I would love to mention your name and put it on the screen, and you may wish to remain anonymous. You can do that too. That's entirely up to you. I've had people actually request that before. So I will respect your wishes as you desire. So anyway, I've picked a few things to talk about tonight that I think you'll find interesting. I think you'll find these things rather interesting. But before I get into all that, if you want to know what I have in my beard tonight, or what I've had in my beard all day long, is I've been using North Carolina beard oil from Coast to Coast Beards. I'll put a link for this down below. And Coast to Coast Beards is out of Lakeland, Florida, the very town I live in. I happened to find this beard product company when I went to our farmer's market downtown. And this guy has this amazing company. I'm really proud to say that he's out of my hometown. Super nice guy. He's actually an elementary school teacher. And I just think he's got this tremendously good idea as far as beard products go. Okay, so here's the gist. Coast to Coast Beards they feature beard oils, balms, butters, washes, and stuff like that reflect each and every state. Now, I don't know if he has all 50 states yet. I know he's been working on it. I don't know if he's accomplished that yet. I don't think so, but he's working on it. But he has a lot of different states wrapped up in a bottle. You kind of get the essence of what that state is known for, and here's a short description of North Carolina. Let me put my reading glasses on and tell you what it says here. It says, take flight on the Outer Banks or relax in the Blue Ridge Mountains with your favorite cigar and barbecue in the smoker. So that's what you can expect. If you can imagine that kind of scent, that's what North Carolina has in it. This is one of their smaller bottles. He makes a bigger bottle than this. This is a ½ ounce. He makes the 1 ounce bottles. All of his products are $15 or less. Great deal. Great deal. I'll tell you what, my favorite so far is Mississippi. The smell of magnolias, I love it. I just absolutely love it. It kind of reminds me also of honeysuckle, but the Mississippi one's one of my favorite ones. But go on to their website. I'll provide a link down below. Go on his site and find out if he has your state and see if it's something that would appeal to you. You can use my code GB20 to save yourself 20% on your purchase. So go check out Coast to Coast Beards. And I also applied their beard balm this morning. I need to get more products from him. There's a whole bunch. I want to try all of them. This is a great thing about his. I don't think anybody else is doing this. Nobody else is doing this. I think it's genius. And it makes them collectible, right? Can you imagine having all 50 if he ever, I mean, I'm sure he'll get to 50. I know he will. But this is just a brilliant idea. They're worth checking out. Okay, so that's what I have my beard. Lately, I have been getting hats from Peaky Hats. Now, if you like flat caps like I do, I've always worn flat caps my whole entire life. And even when it looked ridiculous on me, people may think it does now. I don't know. I don't care. I love wearing flat caps. But if you are somebody who likes wearing them, you've probably seen the ads for Peaky Hats on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is you look at. So I have recently acquired 3 different hats from them. My first one, and I've shown it on this channel before, the first one, this is really cool, is this blue cap with the gray bill on here. And they also have the reverse color. I love this hat. It's breathable, and it's got this elastic band in the back to make it fit better. But I love this. I don't have any other hat. I have flat caps, but none of them look like this. And they're just really cool. I'm loving them. I love it. It's great. But what I like about this is a lot of flat caps are kind of hot, are a little too hot to wear during the summer. But like I said, this is breathable. You can wear this, and in the summer you're going to get some air through there to cool your noggin. Another one that's just like that, that's also breathable, is this black one. So it's kind of built the same way. It feels a little bit different on the head. And yeah, this is cool. These are different than some of their competitors, which I like. So when you go from side to side, you see it. Okay. And then here's the third one I've acquired. Okay, here, this one's brown. It's a little bit different material. It's not quite as breathable. This would be better during the wintertime or the fall season. But yeah, check this one out. Yeah, brown. It's not solid brown. There is a pattern to it, which you probably can't pick up on the video. But I'm not an affiliate with them. I don't have a code to give you. All I can say is go check out their site. I'll leave a link for them in the description below. And I'm sure he's got some great deals going on, probably all the time, like a lot of people do. And if there's a way to tell him that I sent you, please do so. He'd probably be happy to hear it. But this is a cool hat. I like it. It's just these things are I just love hats. And you know what? If you have a beard, it makes hats so much better. I think hats look better with beards. Don't you? The two just go together quite well. All right. So check out Peaky Hats. All right. So that's that. I love getting stuff in the mail. I love knowing when something arrives. That feeling never wears off, and apparently never wears off for my wife either. I swear my wife gets stuff from Amazon every day. Every day. She probably has enough to start her own store. But you know, we never get tired of getting packages. You know, you started that when you were a kid. I remember when I was a little kid, I was getting the little golden books in the mail. I was getting, what else was I getting in the mail? Ranger Rick magazines. Anytime anything came for me in the mail, I was so excited. And while I've matured and maybe the excitement is not the same level, it's still there. I still like it. And of course, you have all these companies that pander to that and have capitalized on it. And so that's going to lead me to my next point here. I found an article in Reader's Digest from 2 years ago in their September 2021 issue about 13 things Amazon drivers want you to know. Sound interesting? I think it is. I think it is, because some of these I can relate to. There are, given what I do for a living, it's not the same thing, but I can relate to a lot of what they're talking about here. But I'll tell you what, I hope that by the time you get to the end of these 13 things, I hope and pray that you guys will have a little more sympathy, a little more compassion for Amazon drivers in particular. Maybe all delivery drivers in general, but especially Amazon. I'm not so sure that they have it very easy. The way they're scrutinized, you'll see. Here's what I'm talking about. Here are 13 things your Amazon driver wants you to know. Listen to this carefully. Okay, number 1. And this is coming straight from them. This is not something that people are just making up, and it's not conjecture. These are things that have actually been told to them by real Amazon drivers. Okay, number 1. If you see me go up and down your street 8 times, it's not because I'm lost. It's because our routes make no sense. They are computer generated and have us constantly doubling back to where we already were, often by making unsafe turns. Sometimes we have to cross busy 4-lane roads on foot to get where we need to be. The only reason why they would do this is if they had to stick to the computer generated route. Now, on my job, I'm similar to them. I don't have as many stops as these people do. I work for a utilities company. I go to all these different addresses every day. And we have the option on our laptop to have our routes optimized, okay? Which means that we can hit this button and it will route our orders for us. But I don't really use it because it doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of times. I know the area better than the maps do, okay? For a lot of reasons, just there's a whole slew of reasons behind that why I don't use it. But the short of the long is I just know it better than they do. And so these Amazon drivers probably get a lot of flack from people, saying, well, you were just down this road. You just passed my house. And probably treating them like they're kind of stupid. But they're not stupid. They're just doing what they have to do. They're doing what they're told to do. And the oversight is probably very high. Okay, so just keep that in mind. They're not lost. They're just doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, number 2, they say, I do have to block traffic sometimes. Drivers who are stuck behind me swear at me or lay on the horn. A Pittsburgh driver says, please remember that I'm just trying to do my job and I will be on my way in a minute. Listen, I've thought about this 100 times. Same thing with garbage truck drivers. Not so much with me. I can pull my truck off to the side of the road. I have a little more, those trucks are big. Like Amazon, UPS, FedEx, they all have bigger vehicles. Amazon sometimes has smaller ones. But, by the by, they usually have larger vehicles. And so there's not as much maneuverability. In fact, many of them are not. I've been told by these delivery service drivers that they're highly encouraged, if not mandated, that they cannot back up. So, and it's really scrutinized. But I'm sure people do put a tremendous amount of pressure on them to get out of there. Well, you know how selfish people are. People are just all about themselves. I mean, it's pretty obvious when a delivery driver is stopped the way they are. They're not trying to take up space. They're just trying to get their job done. And they're never long. I mean, those guys hustle. Those guys hustle, so just be patient with them. Okay, number 3. Amazon uses an app to monitor and score our driving. Can you just score your driving? Let's see. We can be fired if our score drops too low. But the app is flawed. It penalizes us for braking hard, even when it's the right thing to do. And the motion of the vehicle jostles our phone, we get flagged for distraction. Some of us wrap up our phones in towels and place them in the glove box so they register as little movement as possible. Now Amazon is installing cameras that can detect when we look at our phones or yawn. Many of us see this as an invasion of privacy. Plus, it doesn't address the real reason why we sometimes drive dangerously: aggressive delivery quotas. If you just heard that and you thought to yourself, these guys can't win, you're probably right. That kind of micromanagement will actually inflate or skyrocket, I would assume, I'm probably going to guess, probably skyrocket accidents. When you feel like you are under the ever-watching eye, then you're bound to make more mistakes. But it sounds like to me, even when they're not making mistakes, they're making mistakes. So keep that in mind, that these people are under a tremendous amount of, well, I've said it before, I'm probably repeating myself, but they're under a lot of pressure. And I just can't imagine working that way. Now, I don't think that maybe UPS and FedEx are quite as strict. I feel pretty sure that, because I've heard a lot of things about Amazon. I don't know about where you live, but we have some really big Amazon distribution centers in our town. At our airport, it's basically an Amazon airport now. And we have these distribution centers, and I've heard the stories about what it's like to work for them, and I would never work for them. I mean, not unless I was just extremely hard up. And these are some really good reasons why you shouldn't. Number 4, in a 10-hour shift, we're expected to cart as many as 400 packages to 250 stops. That's a lot. That's about 1 stop every 3 minutes. To get it all done, we skip meals, and many of us actually run from our vans to each doorstep, and yes, we pee in bottles. I'm not going to drive to a gas station and back, says a driver in Houston. That's 15 minutes, which can really put you behind. An Amazon spokesperson replies, "These anecdotes don't represent the experience of the vast majority of drivers." Bullcrap. In fact, more than 90% of drivers finish their routes before their scheduled time. Well, they may, but I don't trust anything coming from a spokesperson. And as far as them peeing in a bottle, I saw a story. You may have seen it too. Here in the recent past, that the outrage the public had about finding out how these delivery drivers were peeing in bottles. My only thought of that was, not my only thought, but one of my thoughts was, who cares? Who cares? I mean, people do a lot of things that people don't need to know about, and they have good reason, and it's not like it makes any difference to them. And the only reason anybody would do that is if they're in a pinch, so to speak. No pun intended there. But you know what I mean? I don't know. And I don't know about women. I don't know how women do it. You know, I know that I've seen female Amazon drivers running into stores really quick and running back out. But with men, it's a little bit different story. We're kind of blessed with an ability to take care of matters at the moment if the situation's right. So, anyway. All right, number 5. I better move a little more quickly or I'm going to be here all night. We wear Amazon uniforms, drive Amazon vans, and are subject to Amazon rules, but most of us don't actually work for Amazon. Instead, we work for third-party companies that lease Amazon vans and pay us to operate them. That allows Amazon to control us without taking responsibility for our working conditions. That just sounds kind of slimy to me. Says Amazon, We're proud that our delivery service partner program has empowered more than 2,500 entrepreneurs across the United States, Canada, and Europe. They just know what to say, don't they? Number 6, by all means, include delivery instructions with your order, especially if your home is hard to find. If I can't find it, your delivery will be sent back to the warehouse. And make sure your house number is visible and illuminated. You wouldn't believe how many people have something, usually bushes, covering the number. We deliver as late as 10 p.m., so a light is helpful. But don't write that you need your delivery at a specific time. I don't see the instructions until I'm at your address. This is something I relate to 100% here. Because I go to addresses all day long too. I'd say a large percentage of people in certain areas, not all, but a large percentage of people do not have numerics visible on their house or on their mailbox. And it's very aggravating. It's extremely aggravating. And then people get upset when they either see you driving back and forth thinking you missed their house, or you didn't show up at a time when they thought you should have, when, well, you got a bunch of other people just like them that you're trying to get to who don't post their addresses very well. Yeah. Make sure you have a nice visible address. All right. Number 7. During the pandemic, a lot of customers put out nuts, granola bars, and water for us with thank you notes. If you'd like to tip us, please do. We prefer cash. According to a Federal Trade Commission complaint between 2016 and 2019, Amazon secretly withheld tips meant for drivers who use their personal vehicles to deliver for the company. Earlier this year, Amazon agreed to pay $61.7 million to settle the claims. Remember, this is from 2021. The FTC said that in total, Amazon stole nearly 1/3 of drivers' tips during those years to pad its own bottom line. That's just, why? Why do they need to do it? They don't make enough money? You got to steal tips? Tip them. Be generous. I mean, you want to make their day? Offer them something, snacks, water, whatever. Obviously they appreciate it. Okay, number 8. Here's what we've noticed about rich people. They seem to order more ordinary items such as toilet paper and cereal that they could just as easily pick up at a store. They also tend to have long driveways. Yes, they do. They tend to have long driveways, which are not fun since Amazon doesn't like us to drive in reverse, which is what I was just saying, right? But apartment complexes are the worst. We might have 20 deliveries in one complex, and we have to deliver each to a door. So we have to keep running back to our vans, not to mention up and down those steps. And there's a lot of apartment buildings, complexes in Lakeland that are 3 and 4 stories high. Okay, let me get back. I interrupted myself here. We might have 20 deliveries in one complex, and we have to deliver each to a door. So we have to keep running back to our vans, says a Dallas driver. If your complex has a parcel locker, please direct us to leave your package there. Give that some thought if you live in that situation and you have that option. Okay? Number 9. We wish that you wouldn't order certain items, especially if you live on the 3rd floor of a building without an elevator. For instance, Amazon puts 50-pound dog food bags in boxes. As we're carrying them, the bags move around inside the boxes and throw us off balance. We also dread cases of bottled water. Those suckers are heavy. That's why many of us are in the best shape of our lives. A driver in New York says he lost 60 pounds in 5 months. Another says that after 9 months on the job, my thighs were so massive, I felt like a male ballerina. I've heard this. I've heard this from delivery drivers. even from other companies, that they lost weight after getting the job because of the hustle. But I mean, how long do you want to do that? Well, I mean, there needs to be a little bit of consideration, a little bit of give and take here. Number 10, this job has obliterated any love we ever had for dogs. I don't care how friendly you say your dog is, I'm not taking that chance, says an Amazon driver in Pittsburgh. Man, Pittsburgh comes up several times in this. And, man, they must be a hub. Anyway, too many of us have been attacked. Yeah, you've seen the videos, right? They're all over the place. Another hazard, customers who are too friendly. One time a customer came to the door with just a towel on, a driver recalls. I hand her the package and she says, do you like what you see? Come in. Nobody has to know. She was attractive, but I wasn't going to risk my job. Amazon drivers are not allowed to go inside a customer's home. Same thing for us. And as far as the dogs are concerned, he's absolutely right. If you're somebody who thinks that your dog is so friendly and would never hurt anybody, think again, because people tell us this all the time. And the whole thing about dogs seeing someone in uniform go nuts is absolutely true. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. I don't really care. All I know is dogs do not like people in uniforms. And I don't care. I mean, you might have those occasional dogs. Like I was on a farm today. Farm dogs are cool. Farm dogs are always cool. But other than that, no, don't trust your dog. You might think you know your dog really well, but you don't know it as well as you think you do. They're animals. Things could change within them. They're not human beings. It's not a Disney movie. Okay? So, anyway, yeah, we're not allowed to go inside homes either. For this very reason. You never know what's going to get said. And I've had people, listen, when you work for a company like this, or like I do for an electric company or for the city, people are just looking for things to say about you to hopefully press a lawsuit for. They're always looking for a way to settle and get some money. And we get people lying about us all the time. So to think that if it's a good idea to go through someone's home is a good idea, it's not. It's not. Anyway, so don't expect them to. Number 11, I can leave goods inside your garage. If you download the free Amazon Key app and purchase a MyQ Smart Garage Door Kit for $29.98, Amazon can give me one-time access to your garage so I can put your stuff inside, safe from the weather and porch pirates. Another option, a special parcel drop box or plastic bin on your porch. I can put your package in your mailbox. I can't put your package in your mailbox. That's what he's saying. I can't put your package in your mailbox. It's illegal under federal law. Yeah, that's a really sticky one. No, they're not going to chance that whatsoever. And you know what? To be honest with you, if I was working for Amazon, even putting something in someone's garage would make me feel a little sketchy. You know what I mean? Number 12. We're getting near the end of this, guys. Some of us have left for FedEx. I'm now a part-time driver for FedEx, and I'm making more than I did working full-time at Amazon, a former Amazon driver in Houston says. FedEx also requires us to take breaks. We can get fired if we don't. While Amazon encourages us to take breaks, we really can't afford to take any, says a driver in Little Rock, Arkansas. And if we do happen to finish early, our manager often sends us out to rescue another driver who's behind. This is something I believe immensely. Here's what I found out. And I realized this on my own job. You learn how to pace yourself. The hardest workers don't necessarily get the greatest rewards. Sometimes they just get more work thrown on them so that the slackers can, rest a little bit easier knowing that someone's always going to rescue them. But he was saying here that FedEx drivers get paid better. And he's enjoying it more, obviously. The way that Amazon seems to be pushing their people is just too much. And I've heard about even just working in the warehouse, like the way that they monitor you micromanage you is just too much, more pressure than one can take. I mean, how you don't end up in an insane asylum working for them, I don't know. It probably won't stop me from ordering from them, granted, but number 13, the last one, guys, number 13, still, the job has its perks. It's not being in an office, and most of us make at least $15 an hour. Doesn't sound like much, not for what they're doing. There are also heartwarming moments, such as when a customer offers us a home-cooked meal to go, or when we get to a house and there's a kid at the door, or when we get to a house and there's a kid at the door eagerly anticipating what we are there to deliver, which is what I was talking about earlier. When people see us pull up in the van, they usually break into big smiles. Yeah. I hope that's enough in a lot of cases for them. I'd say being an Amazon driver might be a good foot in the door for getting experience as a delivery person, but I certainly wouldn't stay there. I know guys who, I don't know anybody that works for FedEx. I don't know anybody personally that works for FedEx, but I've known plenty of guys who have been delivery drivers for UPS, and while it's a lot of hustle, it's a lot of overtime, they seem to be very grateful for their job, and they seem to do well for themselves. They seem to live comfortably. So, yay, UPS. I think Amazon could do better. Maybe they are doing better by now. I don't know, but it doesn't appear to me. I mean, I have two eyes. I can see what's going on. I see how things are, and I feel bad for these people because I hear the stories. I mean, Lakeland's such a big Amazon hub anyway, so you're going to hear the stories. So, anyway, I just don't know that I'd work for them unless I really had to. Are you an Amazon driver? Do you know somebody who is? Leave your comments and your remarks down below. If you know somebody who is, share this video with them and get them to see if they concur, or at least can shed some light, or maybe they can bring up other things that were not mentioned here that I would like to know about, and possibly I could do a follow-up video about it later on to kind of add to this. That'd be kind of interesting. That would be kind of interesting. So, yeah. I think that'd be cool. All right, I'm just trying to think if I want to share more or not. I don't know how long I've been on this. I'm not going to look. I know it's been more than a half an hour, but hopefully you're still with me. So I told you, I've been telling you guys about this book I've been reading called Isaac Storm. A Man, a Time, the Deadliest Hurricane in History. It took place in 1900 in Galveston, Texas. So I read something the other night to you guys that I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know if you heard it or not. No one commented about it, so maybe nobody got that far. But there are some interesting things about hurricanes. The reason why I'm interested in them like this is because I live in Florida, and it's just, it's not the only place that experiences hurricanes, but it's a very real thing here for us. I mean, it's just a way of life for us. And I don't like them at all. No, we're not on, me and hurricanes, we're not on speaking terms. But here's something very interesting that they observed about hurricanes, even back then. You don't hear stories like this now. Things like this just don't get reported. But I want to tell you, I want to share this with you so you can kind of find out maybe what happens when you're right up on it, in the middle of it. And, I just don't know who else is going to tell you this stuff. Anyway, so in this book, on page 120, I think this takes place back in like 1912 or something like this. Sometimes the dates jump around, but listen to this, read carefully. At the very center of the eye, talking about a hurricane, at the very center of the eye, the air is often utterly calm, which many of us know, right? I mean, especially if you've ever been through a hurricane, you know that you get that period of time, it's really calm, really nice outside, but you know that it doesn't stay that way. Sailors throughout history have reported seeing stars at night, blue sky during the day. Often, however, the eye is neither clear nor cloudy, but filled with a liquid light that amplifies the stillness as if the world were suddenly fused in wax. Now, you have to remember, when he's when he's talking about this, it's usually from the perspective of somebody that's actually out on the water, out in the ocean, experiencing their hurricane that way. Not someone who's not someone who's on land, but someone who's out on the water. Okay? The sea, however, is anything but calm. Freed abruptly from the wind, waves from all quadrants of the eye wall converge at the center, where they collide and compound to form sudden mountains of undirected energy. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why is he sharing this with us? Why would I be interested in that? Well, I'm just setting it up. Just listen further, please. Sunlight playing in the eyes of cyclones produced colors that drove brave seamen to their knees. Captains reported olive green clouds and a spectral blue light that stained sails and the faces of men until all seemed turned to ice. In 1912, the Reverend J.J. Williams of Black River, Jamaica, saw the sky begin to bleed. Around the entire horizon was a ring of blood-red fires shading away to a brilliant amber at the zenith. The sky, in fact, it was near the hour of sunset, formed one great fiery dome of reddish light that shone through the descending rain. Can you imagine seeing something like that? Did you know that there were colors that took place like that within the hurricane? Or at least within the eye of the hurricane out there? I had no idea. I've never heard anybody talk about this. Now I'm curious as if anybody's ever captured anything like this on video. Okay, he goes on to say, the eye wall is an impossibly hostile realm where air flowing toward the center reaches its highest velocity. Observers trapped in the cyclone's eye consistently reported hearing a great roar as the calm past and the opposite eye wall approached. The frightened Malay crew of a ship off Sumatra called this chorus the Devil's Voice. To Gilbert McQueen, commanding a ship bound for London, the eye wall sang its advance in numberless voices elevated to the highest tone of screaming. Imagine that. One of the strangest encounters with the eye was that of Captain William Seymour of Cork, Ireland, and his brigantine? Is it brigantine or brigantine? I don't know which. Judith and Esther. Apparently that's the name of the ship or the boat. As a ship made for Jamaica in the summer of 1837. Seymour sailed into one of 4 hurricanes that scoured the Caribbean that summer within days of each other. The storm knocked the ship onto her side 3 times. The 3rd time, just as the ship was leaving the eye. Once again, the ship righted, but now something profoundly peculiar occurred that piqued great excitement among seekers of the law of storms. Lieutenant Colonel William Reed wrote at once for more details. Captain Seymour replied, for nearly an hour we could not observe each other or anything but merely the light. And most astonishing, listen to this. Excuse me. Every one of our fingernails turned quite black and remained so nearly 5 weeks afterward. He could not explain it. Whether it was from the firm grasp we had on the rigging or rails, I cannot tell, but my opinion is that the whole was caused by an electric body in the element. Every one of the crew were affected in the same way. That's so odd to me. I've never heard that, and to think that it wasn't just one man that was saying this. Every one of the crew, their fingernails turned black. And they suspected, well, maybe it was from the rigging, the sails, but they couldn't be sure. And that's just so strange and anomalous to me. And I oftentimes wonder, you know how traffic accidents or murders, suicides happen in your own hometown. You hear about them, or you're on your way home and you see a car overturned on the side of the road. And you think, oh, that's going to end up in the news, right? You go home, you read, you look for the blurbs online or the newspaper or on the news channel, and you never hear about it. You go, why? Because some of the most meaningless stuff out there gets attention, and how does this other stuff not? But it's the same way with this I hope I'm drawing a good analogy here, but it's the same way with this kind of thing. Like, why have we not heard this about, at least in Florida, why have we not heard this about these kind of weather patterns? After living over half a century, this information has never passed through my ears before in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Strange, right? Strange. Well, I have more I could share with you, but I've taken up a lot of time. I don't regret it, but I just don't want the sound of my voice to be a dull ringing. And I want to lose you guys. Let me know if you liked this video, would you? Say something. If you see something, say something. Just respond in some way. I like hearing from you, and I like if I can, I'll respond in as timely of a manner as possible. But man, I do enjoy just coming out here and shoot the breeze with you, and just kind of winging it. It's kind of fun. It's just kind of fun, just sharing your own thoughts about things and seeing if it resonates with anybody else. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to make that the end, and just stay tuned for more. Make sure, like I said, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can stay apprised of any future uploads. And consider donating to this channel. All right. I've enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great night.